everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Copic and Prismacolor marker illustration. And right now you see me just transferring my sketch onto my with my lightbox, not onto my lightbox. That wouldn't be very good. So I am using a new kind of paper in this illustration. I really enjoyed this paper. It is from the Be Paper Company. It is their Be Creative marker pad, and it's 8.5 by 11, so it's the same as the other sizes I've been using. I use either 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12. And this paper is so incredibly smooth. The only thing that is just as smooth as this is the Strathmore 500 series plate finish Bristol, and that is my all-time favorite paper, and it still beats this out simply because that is thicker, but this is it's a little bit cheaper, and it's quite a bit cheaper, and it's just so incredibly smooth. I really liked it, so I will definitely be using this more often. In the pad it had like 50 sheets in it or something, so it'll last me a while. I also used a new inking pen. I didn't use the multi-liner today, and I've been on a quest to find a dip ink that works with alcohol-based markers, and I have yet to find one. However, I did just order some inks that supposedly they work well with alcohol markers, so I'll be doing a review on that so that I can finally use my dip pens for my marker illustrations, and I'll be so happy. But I decided to try out the Copic sketch pens. I think that's what they're called. I will list all my supplies down below, so if you're interested in these pens, I will have the exact name down below. It comes in two sizes, a smaller size and a bigger size. The smaller size I'd say is comparable to like a 0.3 in the Copic multi-liners, and the larger size is probably comparable to about a 0.5. They have a nib like a fountain pen. They don't have like that felt tip like the multi-liners, so it's a little bit more of an expressive line, but you still have all the control of the multi-liner since it's just a pen with that kind of tip. Also, the ink is a little different. The ink is more like a fountain pen ink, which makes sense. It takes it a little bit longer to dry than the multi-liners, and I learned that the hard way by smudging my drawing in a few places. That's why I ended up using a little scratch piece to kind of protect my hand and protect my drawing so I wouldn't smudge it anymore, because I was really sad when I saw those. Thankfully the smudges were not bad. I was able to cover them with a white gel pen, and the markers went over the gel pen just fine. So all in all, it wasn't too bad. I was able to fix it. The other kind of negative point for these pens was the larger one skipped a lot. I don't know if it's just the pen that I got, because the smaller size flowed beautifully. I didn't have any issues with it, but the larger one, I had to use my scratch piece and kind of scribble a little bit on it, and to kind of get the ink flowing, and then it would work for a while, and then it would start skipping again, and then I'd have to repeat the process. I didn't really enjoy having to do that, but I think that if I just store it with the tip down for a while, maybe it'll kind of help get the ink flowing a little better. If not, oh well, like it still works fine. Just have to make sure I have a scrap piece around whenever I use it. So I do definitely suggest these. They are probably like a step or a half a step up in difficulty from the multi-liners. They're still super easy to use. You still have a lot of control, but it is a different kind of ink that dries a little bit slower, so you have to be more conscious of where you're setting your hand. And the nib is different than like that very mechanical looking line that's created by the multi-liners. But for illustrations and comics, I think this is great. I think this is a great pen, especially maybe for traveling. I will be definitely taking this on any trips I go on in the future, because traveling with ink and nibs is a little difficult. I wanted to kind of get back to my roots with this drawing. I took a long break from drawing. It was probably about two and a half years that I didn't really draw very much. I used to draw every day, and then for a while I just kind of stopped drawing, and I would draw maybe like once a month or maybe even less. So I really got out of practice with drawing, so my illustrations don't look the same as they used to. And not in like I got better so my art looks better kind of way. It was like I'm rusty and I haven't drawn in a long time kind of way, which is not all bad. I kind of was able to relearn things that I was doing incorrectly before, and since I had gotten so in the habit of doing certain things a certain way, it was kind of hard to break those habits. So that was a plus side, but the downside is that I kind of like my older art, the look better. I feel like the style's a little more cohesive, like I felt like I had a direction, and so I'm trying to get back to that instead of just drawing and doing, I guess, whatever, and not really minding kind of what I'm doing with the lines, especially in line art, because I love ink. I kind of wanted to go back to my bold comic style look with heavy blacks and bolder outlines and really varying thick to thin lines from foreground to background, and to kind of show shadow and depth. So that's kind of what I was focusing on, and this drawing was kind of going back to my roots, back to where I was. I looked at some old drawings that I actually think are still good, and maybe eventually I'll do an old sketchbook tour and show you guys some art from my college days, and maybe even earlier, who knows. But I'll show you guys some of those maybe eventually, but that in my head was what I was thinking about. Like, this is the kind of look I want. I want to go back to this kind of feel. And I feel like I achieved it pretty well, not perfectly, of course. Like, I'm still getting back into things, and I'm still learning a lot of things over again, and there's some things that I feel like I do better now that I was able to retrain myself. And we all grow, so, and things are going to change. I don't want to look exactly like how I used to draw, but yeah. So I also challenged myself to do color studies on this, because when I don't do color studies, I have a problem with not knowing where to go when I'm coloring, because I'm definitely not a colorist. Color is the absolute weakest point in my art. It's not something that comes easily to me. So I scanned the line art, and then I put it into Photoshop, made it so I shrunk it down, made it so there was 4 to a page, and I printed it out. And then I colored those in different varying color palettes to see kind of where I was going. That way I had a direction, and I wasn't wasting so much ink trying to redo everything over and over again. It was a good experience. I feel like I should be doing it more. I used to do it more back in college, and I kind of got out of the habit, but I definitely need to be doing that more. It's easier, and it wastes less ink than having to completely start over. I originally wanted to draw this, or color this with like greens, like yellow greens, and kind of have it be like this almost like a poisonous looking green color palette. I thought that would be really cool, but I don't have really the marker colors for that. I didn't have what I was looking for. Like my mind's eye and the colors I had just didn't match. So I'm like, okay, I tried it failed because I don't have what I want, and there's probably a better direction to go in anyway. So I used the other 3 to kind of go and explore a little more, I had a more purple one, and then this is more like the blue and greens that I ended up going with because I felt like it got that nighttime witchy kind of vibe across. And I actually ended up really enjoying the coloring process. It didn't take me as long this time. Normally coloring things takes me forever. One, because coloring can take a long time, and two, because I'm lost half the time because color doesn't come particularly easily for me. And doing those color studies really helped to expedite the process and to make me feel more confident in the colors I was choosing because I already knew that they were going to work together. I also do more spot blacks. You'll see me in a little bit do them. I wanted to, like I was saying, I wanted to be more bold, especially with the line art. And if you look up in the top left-hand corner where there's that tree branch, the shadow on there, that solid black, I wanted that to be kind of everywhere. But I chickened out a little when I was initially doing the line art. So I decided while I was doing those color studies to kind of just color in the areas that I thought I might want solid black. And I liked it, and I knew I was going to like it, so I don't know why I didn't just do it. Other than the fact that I don't really have an ink I can use with a brush that would work well with the Copic markers, but that's okay. I ended up doing that last, and it worked out really well. It kind of brought everything together. That way you don't have just this big, dark patch right in the upper corner, and then there's no more black anywhere else. So I was really happy that I kind of forced myself to put in those blacks, because as soon as I did it on those color studies, I was like, that's what I need to do. 100%. That's what I need to do. And it brought everything together. It gave it that more comic kind of feel. It gave it a more bold look. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. Something else I tried, and I don't know if I succeeded on, was if you look on the little platform bridge thing that she's sitting on, I did some glowing mushrooms. I was inspired by Skyrim, which I have been playing recently because it's really fun, and I haven't played Skyrim since it came out, so I got for Christmas the collector's edition, the one that has all the DLC in it. Plus you can do like mods now, and I'm having a lot of fun. And when I was thinking of like witchy cool things to put on my picture, I was like, ooh, glowing mushrooms is really cool. So I'm gonna do a glowing mushroom. And I thought about doing like maybe like Luna moths or something like that, but I went against that idea. I feel like I'll use that in maybe a different illustration. It could have gone in this illustration, but I didn't feel like it fit the way I wanted it to. And so at the end, as always, using that white jelly roll to do the highlights, and here you can see me filling in the black areas with my black ink. I just have a water brush that I got from Michael's. It was in the scrapbook section actually, and it has a really thin tip. I just filled it with Speedball super black ink, and it flows perfectly fine. I know that supposedly you shouldn't put India ink in pens and brushes and stuff, but for this it worked totally fine, and it's been in there for months. So I kind of thickened the outlines here on the stones, and yeah, that black just looks so much better. I'm so happy that I did that. I'm so happy I made it a little more bold. And I think that's about it for this, guys. Make sure you follow me on my other social media. I have a Twitter and Instagram, and I am also on Patreon. And if you like this, make sure you subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.